concerned, raising concern about the electoral processes that will be unfolding on the 29th of May when South Africans head to vote. What can you tell us about what the ANC is discussing as we build up to the 29th?
Let me start with a letter by the DA. It was disingenuous. Secondly, they want to mortgage our country, as the President Ramaphosa said, to the capitalist West. And we are just saying the systems of elections in South Africa are watertight. They've been there for all these years. There's no doubt about them, and why now? But also we do have observer missions from the AU, the SADC, that have always been, and the Commonwealth also has been participating. The EU has been participating. At some point, EU said, we are fine with South Africa. We are not even sending observer missions, but they are most welcome to come back again. But we don't have to get countries directly and say, your country and your country come in. Those bodies that are in the UN, those bodies that are within the regions, are the ones that will welcome, definitely. So I don't know why the DA had to do that and send a panicking letter on something that does not exist. However, the ANC is part of the, and the Communist Party is part of the global movement in the South for the ending of colonial practices, together with Russia and all countries in Latin America, in Africa, and in Asia and Middle East, who were once colonized, who are now belonging to a body. And these institutions we are now discussing. These are the institutions that, as Prof. Tembe was saying, that we need to now build our own and no longer be dependent on the West institutions, whether it be the World Bank, whether it be any other of that, IMF. Will then have to reinstitutionalize, taking from what BRICS has started now, and then expand them, and then ensure that an alternative world is emerging that is multipolar, no one dominating, all equal, and then all, implementing the international universal law that respects the rights of everybody to exist.
On those points, I just want to bring you in, Dr. Fourie, and talk to you about how active you think foreign powers are when it comes to the interference of elections, not just in Russia, but in other parts of the world, and what you think the motive there is in those instances.
The Prof was teasing me earlier, saying that the Communist Party is rosy-eyed. And this year we are celebrating the death of the centenary of the death of Vladimir Lenin. And Lenin brought in the concept of imperialism, which refers to powers or countries that want to influence, whether through their actions or whether just the arrogance, the policies of other countries, and they do it either through hard power, whether it is through war or economic, unilateral economic measures like sanctions, or whether it's through soft diplomacy or cultural imperialism. And we're seeing that the West wants to maintain its hegemony. They want to maintain economic control. At the same time, they also want to feed the military-industrial complex. And so it is they find it necessary to have a control over countries that don't want to toe the line. And hence the invasion in Iraq, the invasion in Syria, hence the now strong emphasis and support for Israel, as much as the US on the one hand is saying, I know a few days ago they just proposed a ceasefire to the Israeli government, but at the same time they're arming them, they have boots on the ground, they're providing them with intelligence. So, and that is because they want to control the Middle East. And that is why the DA had the arrogance to write to the USA, which was very disrespectful, very racist, very undermining of our intelligence and capacity. But they were basically opening a leeway. I don't think they did it innocently. They deliberately tried to open a leeway for the US to more tangibly interfere in South Africa's elections. Because right now, the stance of the governing party is definitely not in their favor. And as you know, South Africa is very strategically located on the continent. and to have a compliant government is very important for them. And that certainly is not the current governing party.